Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, and we move back over to the baseball diamond, talking Red Sox, and talked about David Price on the field. Looks like he's getting better. You know, he could be getting even better, but a little bit of a slow start so far. What about the rest of the team? We'll go right over to third base, because this third base is, I mean, it's atrocious, but it's just questionable, like, what they can do. They've tried everything. You know, obviously they've been hit with some injuries, but Pablo Sandoval plays. You know, you have Rutledge playing third base now that Pedroia's back. Marrero.
Right.
I mean, what's the answer? Are they going to have to go get someone, or even there's no guarantee anyone is out there?
Right, yeah, I think they will have to go get somebody. I mean, they really haven't had a solid third baseman since Kevin Youkilis, right? I mean, Will Middlebrooks looked like he was going to take over. I think he hit like 20 home runs in like 60 games.
He was in the World Series in 13.
Right, he played in 2013, but he just fell off a cliff. And, you know, they signed Pablo, and he has really just been a disaster. And like you said, they've had Rutledge and Marrero. Marrero's been good defensively, but with his bat has been bad. So they're going to have to go out and get somebody. And, I mean, the two guys that seem to make the most sense are Todd Frazier with the White Sox and Mike Moustakas with the Royals. Frazier's hitting like 210 right now.
Right.
He's got the power. He's got 10 home runs. But, I mean, 210, you can't have that.
Right.
And then Moustakas, he has 17 home runs. He's hitting 278.
Right. So
that would be the best case scenario if the Red Sox could get Moustakas.
Right.
But each of these guys would just be a rental, right?
Right,
After this season, they would be free agents. So hopefully they wouldn't be too expensive, but you're going to have to give up somebody if you're going to get Moustakas.
Right.
And the Red Sox system's already pretty depleted over the last couple of years. So who are you going to? I mean, do you just kind of say, Pablo, do your best because we can't give anybody away?
Well, that might be where they're at, because they have Rafael Devers down there, and he's not going to be traded. He is third baseman of the future, but they don't want to bring him up too early and screw him up. I mean, they've already done that with multiple other players.
Right.
So you might just have to say to Pablo, I mean, we'll put you out there, and we'll put Rutledge every third day, and Marrero. Do you think there's any chance that Pablo could get waived at some point? I mean, they're paying him a ton, and they still have to pay his contract. It's not like football where they're non-guaranteed. These are guaranteed deals.
Yeah.
But do you think they would just try and waive him and maybe get somebody to pick him up and then pay some of his salary?
I mean, it's really starting to look like it's getting to that point. He was benched a couple games ago when there was a righty pitcher. It was a good matchup, but they benched him.
But they still benched him.
And then I think later on in that game, he came on to pinch hit in the 8th.
Yes.
And then came on defensively and made an error immediately. And that was why they took him out, because he looked so bad defensively.
Right.
So at least defensively he has to be solid, or offensive.
Right, but he's neither.
Neither. It's been neither. It's been bad. So, I mean, you might have to waive him. I don't know what they can do.
Because you can't keep, if he's not going to play and be productive.
Right.
You don't want to take up a roster spot. That's the other thing. At some point, the roster spot becomes more important than the dollars.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're complaining about Price and the third base, well, all these things. They're only 3 games out of first place right now. So you can look at it glass half full, half empty. They played this bad and they're within striking distance, or they're playing with fire, and if they go into a slump, they're going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah, well, the last about 2.5 weeks, they've looked like a solid baseball team. I think they're like, 14-7 or something? They've been good.
Yeah.
But the first month or so, they were really a 500 team, and they were lucky to be a 500 team. They were not playing well. So like you said, I mean, only 3 games out behind the Yankees. I think it's pretty lucky of them. But as we've seen recently, the offense and the home runs are finally coming around, finally getting some power.
Mitch Moreland's still hitting well.
Yeah, Mitch Moreland has really come around. He's looked like a really good signing. So, I mean, I think this team is starting to turn things around. Their pitching has been pretty solid. So really, it's just offensively, can they get the bats going? And they've shown signs of that recently.
And it's a long 6-week stretch coming up here, end of June through July into August, 8 weeks. And this is where, teams can separate or fall behind and make their money. So we don't have a lot of time, so we'll touch on the Patriots next week. But Vegas came out with their most likely Super Bowl matchup. That was Patriots and Cowboys. Do you think that has any chance of happening? I mean, Patriots side is pretty big.
Patriots, absolutely. I mean, Cowboys were really good last year. I could see that happening. Prescott and Elliott, very young. They were MVP candidates last year. I think they could make it to the Super Bowl. I'm going to say they won't this year just because they're young.
Yeah,
that's
they have that sophomore slump.
Right, exactly.
You always go backwards.
But it definitely, I mean, I could see it happening.
Yeah. So next week we'll get into some more Patriots talk as the summer progresses, OTAs are over and everything. We'll take our final break. When we come back, we'll have our top 5 AL MVP candidates. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.